If you've spent a few evenings scrolling through endless lists of soundbars, comparing the number of channels, the size of the subwoofer, and trying to picture how each model would actually sound in your living room, you probably feel a little overwhelmed. Maybe you've even tried a couple of budget options and found that the dialogue gets lost in the bass or the surround effects just sound like two extra speakers stuck to the wall. This is the kind of situation that makes a bundle feel like a safety net, and that's exactly why I'm diving into the Samsung HWQ990F11.1.4ch soundbar paired with the 50-inch frame QLED TV. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about why this combo feels different from the usual soundbar plus TV packages you see on the market. Samsung isn't just tacking a subwoofer onto a sleek bar, they've built an entire 11-channel architecture that includes two upward-firing drivers, side-firing surround speakers, and a dedicated rear-channel module that actually mounts to the back of the wall. That means you're getting a true 1.1.4 configuration instead of the simulated surround that most single-bar systems rely on. For a movie night, that translates to more precise placement of sounds. Think footsteps that genuinely feel like they're coming from behind you, and a clear, crisp center channel that keeps dialogue sharp even when explosions are happening on screen. Now, who benefits most from this level of immersion? If you regularly host movie marathons, binge-watch action series, or love playing console games where directional audio can be a competitive advantage, the HWQ990F is built for you. The rear speakers are wireless, which means you can attach them to the back of your sofa or mount them on the walls without having to run a tangle of cables. In a medium-sized living room, say around 300 to 400 square feet, the system fills the space nicely, delivering bass that is powerful enough to feel, yet controlled enough not to shake the picture frame. For people who treat their home theater as a social hub, the 11-channel layout makes it feel like a small cinema without the need for a dedicated subroom. On the flip side, if your primary use case is background TV while cooking, catching up on sitcoms, or you live in a very small apartment where space is at a premium, this bundle may actually feel overkill. The rear speakers, while wireless, still need to be placed at ear level behind your listening area, which can be a hassle in a cramped studio. And let's be honest, the 11-channel claim mainly shines during high-budget productions that mix audio in a way that fully exploits those channels. For generic streaming content, the gains over a well-tuned 2.1 or 3.1 system might be modest. In short, you'll probably notice a difference, but whether that difference justifies the price tag depends on how serious you are about immersive audio. Let's break down some practical strengths. Dialogue clarity is perhaps the most obvious win. Samsung's Dolby Atmos processing isolates the center channel so that speech stays intelligible even when the soundstage is filling with explosions or musical scores. I tried a recent episode of a dialogue-heavy drama, and the actors' lines stayed crisp without me needing to keep turning the volume up. The subwoofer itself is a 12-inch unit that can be placed in a corner or hidden under a piece of furniture. It delivers a deep thump that you actually feel in your chest, but the built-in bass management prevents it from overwhelming the rest of the mix. In a test with a bass-heavy action trailer, the low frequencies were present but never muddy the mids, which is a common complaint with cheaper soundbars that sacrifice clarity for boom. The surround effect works best when you mount the rear speakers as directed about 2 feet above ear level and angled slightly inward. When set up correctly, you'll hear a subtle ambience that makes rain sounds feel like they're actually falling behind you, or you'll sense the direction of a helicopter flying overhead. That sense of space is what transforms a regular TV night into a more cinematic experience. In a practical sense, the system also integrates with Samsung's Smart TV platform. The frame QLED TV you get in the bundle can automatically recognize the soundbar and switch to the proper audio mode without you having to dig through menus. It also supports voice commands through Bixby, Alexa, or Google Assistant, so you can change volume or switch inputs hands-free while you're in the middle of a game. There are some weaknesses worth pointing out. First, the remote for the soundbar can feel a bit clunky. It's a fairly small device with a lot of buttons jammed together, and you may find yourself pressing the wrong function when you're trying to adjust the bass level. The learning curve isn't steep, but it can be annoying if you're used to a simple 2-button volume control. Another practical issue is the connectivity options. While the system supports HDMI/RC, not every TV in the market ships with a fully compliant eARC port and UL.